The economy is going to crash. Everybody's suffering greatly. All the experts are saying it. And not only that, but I just went to my local animal shelter today because I like to go in there sometimes with my kids to interact with the animals. It's good for the animals, it's good for my kids, and it's a fun time. And I went there today just to go look at some cats and look at some dogs. And while I was there, the amount of animals that were surrendered willingly is insane to me. I have never before seen that amount of surrenders.
America is cracking, and you can hear it in the silence of people's minds. We are living through the biggest mental health crisis that this country has ever seen. Not because people suddenly became weaker, not because these generations are just too soft, but because survival itself has become unaffordable. It costs too much to exist here. The rent eats your paycheck, the groceries rob you blind, the gas, the water bill, the light bill keeps going up month after month after month.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Mindful Text. On TikTok, there has been a lot of buzz lately about the possibility of the US economy collapsing. Inflation, debt levels, rising costs, fears of recession, and so on. In this video, we are going to watch several clips that discuss this scenario. Some are alarmist, some are cautious, and we will break them down. And we'll try to figure out what is real fear-mongering, what are the credible signs, and what might be overblown hype. And if you care about global economies, inflation, currency value, or just want to understand what could happen to a world power, this one is for you. So hit the like button and let's get started.
You know, a poor family that relies on SNAP, when you get rid of those SNAP benefits for that family, what are they going to do? Yeah. Because the truth is there is no plan for what are they going to do right now. But you're talking about, you know, when you got a mother that will literally go without and will starve herself the last week of every month just so her children can get food in their stomachs. I mean, it's a wonderful mother, a mother that sacrifices for her kids, but this is the United States of America. I've been alive for almost 55 years, and every single day of that, I was always told that America's the greatest country ever. Because we can whip you, because we can drop more bombs on you, but we don't do nothing for our people. We tax the hell out of the middle class. We don't do anything for these people. Right now, the middle class are carrying this country. The middle class have been carrying this country since Ronald Reagan said trickle-down economics. It's about time we turn this around and let's let the billionaires carry the United States of America for the next 50 to 60 years. Because if we do, make no mistake about it, we will finally make America great. But it's not going to get great under this regime.
I need grocery list ideas because the food that I normally get, I can't afford anymore. I feel like when I used to go to the grocery store, if I got a week's worth of food, it would cost me under $100. Now it's costing me $300+ to get what I normally get, so can't get as much anymore. But it's tough because I've been getting the same food for years and years now, and I don't know what to get anymore because I can't afford a lot of the things that I used to get. It's crazy because I feel like I should go get what I normally get at the grocery store. It's not like I get anything crazy. I just get basic necessities, foods that I like.
Kroger or Morsco, whatever it's called, is closing, y'all. And this is not a drill. They out here grilling, making hot dogs and ribs and trying to get rid of the meat. It's like real deal. I had a feeling that by the time I got over here, most of the stuff was going to be gone. Yeah, I came way too late. All the good stuff is gone. Yeah, they definitely already got to all the good stuff. Everything that was half off was basically gone. But at the same time, it wasn't a lot of stuff that was marked down. It was really only the medicine and like some food items. So I was able to stock up on some of my favorites. I love these fake mozzarella sticks. They're so good. In exchange for the discounts, you can expect to stand in an obnoxiously long line. And in true Kroger fashion, nobody's manning the register. So, you know. But how do y'all feel about the Kroger's closing?
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself.
Another day as an unemployed 22-year-old living in Florida. Just walking on the streets right now looking for some type of work. No one wanted to hire me for a side job today. I probably only have like 2 or 3 more months before my funds run out. That's why we're walking by foot now. Gotta save money on gas. I figured I made enough money yesterday to hold me over, so if I don't find any work today, it won't be the end of the world. If anyone got any side job ideas, drop them in the comments to help me make a little cash.
This isn't me trying to fearmonger, this is just me trying to prepare you. The US economy right now is like a Jenga tower with 18 fucking pieces missing. We are one piece pulled out away from everything just toppling down. AI was responsible for 40% of US GDP growth this past year and 80% of US stock growth. And the manufacturing industry has contracted for 7 consecutive months, while every other economic indicator is saying this is as bad as things have been since 2009. Now, when you have a sentence that says the economy is as bad as it's been since 2009, you are fucked. So again, this is not me fear-mongering, this is just me preparing you. Our economy is in a very bad place. If you have a job, hold on to it with everything you have.
This is how much it costs to give birth in America. $44,318.41. I had my little guy 3 weeks ago, so they definitely wasted no time sending me that bill. I had a vaginal birth with epidural, no complications, and I was in the hospital for about 2 days. So I'm gonna break everything down for you guys and show you guys how much everything costs and how much my insurance did cover. A private 1-bed room and board was $10,100. Pharmacy was $89.40. Laboratory was $859. My epidural was $1,845. Labor room and delivery was $10,275. Specialty services was $585, and then other services was $1,347. And that's just one bill. We have multiple bills to go through, guys. So my insurance did cover $20,353.62. And then I also still have to pay my doctor who delivered my baby. So that was $4,395.85, and that's with insurance already. I'm not sure exactly how much it would have been without insurance. Then I did get another like epidural bill, and this is just for the doctor, not the epidural itself, and that is $2,060.86. And then lastly, baby boy also gets a bill too, and his bill is $12,761.30, and this is without insurance. We're still waiting for him to process on our insurance, so for now this is the cost without it. And if you're curious on how much we pay for insurance for our family of 5 now, it's $2,500 a month. We originally were paying $2,138.48 for just the 4 of us.
I'm here at the Georgia Department of Labor office in downtown Atlanta. I just got out of my required meeting about my unemployment claim. In short, it's kind of felt demoralizing. We were all called up and told to stand in line. Then we were walked into a classroom where a Department of Labor employee basically gave us what seemed like a lecture. And by the way, there's cars coming by, so this might get a little noisy. Thank goodness for captions. We were told you have to make sure you're submitting your job search claims. You have to have a resume on WorkSource Georgia. You have to be checking all the boxes. We also had to fill out a piece of paper that basically said, have we run into any problems on the job search? Yeah, I've run into problems. Nobody's hiring. We also had to say, do we need any help in the job search? Yeah, I'd like some help in not being ghosted. And then we were told you have to submit a job search on a different day. So if I submitted, say, 4 job applications on a Monday, I'd have to spread that out on my unemployment claims for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It doesn't make any sense to me. That's why I think this meeting was not about, hey, you're unemployed. Let us try to help you find meaningful employment. And this was more just bureaucratic bullshit. This is unbelievable. People want to work. And instead of getting all this paperwork and nonsense thrown at them. All right, I don't think the Georgia Department of Labor really wants to help anyone find a job. That's not the message that I got here today. And it pisses me off. Person on the bike going by. It absolutely pisses me off because this, as I've always said, is a people problem. Treat people like people. Help them find gainful employment. Or otherwise, don't waste my damn time.
All right, we're back now with what is a mounting moment of reckoning for the retail industry. Christine Romans reports on the expectation is that a stunning number of brick and mortar stores will close this year.
For people who love to shop at Joann, the fabric store with about 800 locations around the U.S., time is running out.
I just finished a quilt and I said, oh my God, where am I going to go now?
You like to go in and touch and feel and look and colors, see if it matches things when you're making stuff. You can't do that online.
But now the one-time largest fabrics retailer in the country, which has some 19,000 employees, is closing all of its stores.
I'm going to be sorry to see this go.
It's just part of what's expected to be a record-setting year of 15,000 retail store closures, with Party City, Big Lots, Walgreens, and Macy's just some of the companies shuttering locations.
We've got policy upheaval with tariffs. We've got demand upheaval in terms of competition.
John Mercer is the head of global research at Coresight, a firm focused on technology's impact on retail.
It's not how much consumers are spending, it's all the other factors around retail.
Yeah, we think it's the context. We think consumer spending is pretty strong. It's where that spending goes.
Massive summer sheen haul.
He says online discount retailers like Temu and Shein are eating into many brick and mortar businesses as shoppers grow frustrated with poor customer service and locked up goods in stores. They're also chasing the cheapest prices. Adding to the trouble for retailers, Americans are growing more pessimistic about the economy. The Consumer Confidence Index released today down almost 7%, the biggest monthly decline in almost 4 years. Record number of store closures expected this year raises the question, what's to become of the real estate occupied by...
On tourism, there's been a steep drop-off in international travel to the United States. It was down 12% last month, down even more from Western Europe. Why do you think that there are fewer people suddenly who want to travel to the United States?
Well, there could be a little, there's a little nationalism there, I guess, perhaps. It's not a big deal. And our dollar is a little bit on the low side, and that means that a lot of tourism is going to come in. But I could see a little bit nationalism at work, and I could see it likewise with us not wanting to go to certain countries, but that will work out very easily.
Do you think some people are scared to come here because they hear the stories of tourists who are detained for a few days or even a week or two?
No, we treat our tourists great. We're the tourism capital of the world. There's no place like this, and there may be a little bit of nationalism, but I doubt it. I actually doubt it.
Imagine selling your house in a crisis and you still end up broke. Well, that's Tampa right about now. So Tampa, Florida is now on pace to be the foreclosure capital of America. It's like the epicenter of housing distress right about now. The issue isn't even about buying homes. The issue is for people that bought homes between 2020 and 2023, they can't sell them and make a profit. And see, one of the things about home ownership that we like is if things get tough, if worse comes to worse, you can sell your house and make some money so that you can do the things that you need to do. But in Tampa, people are selling their homes and walking away with nothing. Hell, sometimes less than nothing. So you got declining home values, rocket homeowners insurance prices, And the daily expenses of home ownership have just become too much for some people in Tampa. Now understand though, this is how rich people thrive. In like 2008, 2009, they loved when that housing bubble popped because they were able to come in, buy really cheap properties, and then become landlords and rent them out for exorbitant prices. Because see, when we struggle, regular folks struggle, rich people actually go shopping. When homeowners drown, investors snorkel. This is not a foreclosure problem. It's a transfer of ownership problem, a generational wealth problem, a who gets to own America problem. And Tampa is the warning shot.
China has changed its official policy to just sit back and watch the American government collapse on its own.
Do you feel like we're headed towards a decline as a country?
Absolutely, yes.
When do you think it'll start the uptick again?
Our problem is our defense budget. We spend more than $1 trillion a year on defense, and our roads are for and our bridges are falling into the rivers below them, and we should be ashamed at the state of our airports, and our hospitals are underfunded, and our schools are underfunded. But by God, we spend $1 trillion plus a year on weapons. And we've so inflated the national debt that we're only a few years away from a tipping point where we're just not going to be able to pay the interest on the debt.
Well, we can't now. We owe $37 trillion. We bring in $5 trillion into the treasury. We spend $7 trillion, and $1 trillion a year is just our interest debt on that $37 trillion.
Exactly.
But America, we need your help. We are nurses. We're awake. And we see the corruption that's happening in the healthcare system every single day. And we're finally seeing what decades of profit-first business decisions have done to our communities. Our nation is sick. Our nation is lost. And none of that happened by accident. It was engineered by the system to profit off of all of us suffering. We've tried to fix this at the state level. We've tried as unions. We've begged, marched, testified, and every single time we've been silenced. I stand here for those who have lost their life to the system, for the families who never got their answers, and for patients who trusted a system that betrayed them. This isn't just a nursing issue. This isn't just a hospital problem. This is a national crisis. We, the people, need to take back our healthcare system. Every American is affected by this. Every family, every community. And if we don't stand up today, more lives will be lost. More nurses will break. More patients will suffer. We've launched a national petition for federal laws to protect nurses.
All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you're able to make it this far. We have watched several people giving their views and reasons as to why they think that the economy is collapsing. Budget deficit keeps exploding. Every year they spend more than they make. True, in many recent years, the government has run a deficit of several $100 billion, sometimes over $1 trillion. That means every year more debt gets piled up on top of the huge number. So persistent deficit means debt keeps growing, and more of the budget has to go just to service the interest, which reduces flexibility, especially in times of crisis. If economic growth slows, or interest rates rise, or revenues fall, then a big deficit becomes a heavy burden. So this is a valid concern. But again, the burden of collapse is at least not automatic. On the issue of prices skyrocketing, inflation increasing, cost of living, whereby people can't afford basics anymore. Yes, this is true. Inflation in recent years has hit many Americans really hard, and especially in 2025. Food, rent, utilities, pretty much everything costs more. That is a real everyday problem for families across the country. So high inflation and high cost of living squeezes households. Even if macro numbers, which is the debt and deficit, look scary, the real pressure is on ordinary people who are seeing their paychecks buying less. And that is what often fuels panic and talk about collapse. So even if the system holds, if people suffer social tension, unrest, inequality, those are the real risks. So when people worry, that is really valid. Political instability, social unrest, and loss of global confidence. This is in relation to arguments that corruption, political polarization, and social unrest will make global investors in the US to run, triggering collapse. Yes, political unrest can undermine investors' confidence, trade, and global standing. But the US has weathered political turbulence before. Institutions, global reserve currency status, and diversified economy offer some resilience, but still political risk is real and worth watching. So social unrest and loss of global confidence can be contributing factors, but by itself, it's unlikely to cause a collapse without major corresponding issues. Then on the issue of unemployment, layoffs, and job market crash, it's estimated that over 1 million jobs have been lost just in 2025, and the rate of unemployment is high. The job market is also a mess, and this can trigger a domino collapse. Businesses failing, people unable to pay rent or loans. So if unemployment rose sharply, that could lead to real economic distress. But historically, the US economy has proven resilient. Sectors adapt, new industries rise, labor markets shift, and a crash is possible. But it's more likely you would see a rough recession or slump before anything like total collapse. So this is a valid worry, especially if many sectors get hit at once, but nothing guarantees total crash. So the truth is, yes, the US debt is enormous, deficits are persistent, inflation and cost of living are hurting real people, unemployment, job market crash, and layoffs are hurting real people. So these are serious issues and they deserve concern, scrutiny, policy discussion. But enormous debt, downturns, recessions, painful adjustments, but also recovery, resilience, and adaptation. So if you take anything away from this video, don't panic. Think critically, keep informed, and understand that numbers like $34 trillion or high inflation are not a verdict. They are a warning. If you found this breakdown helpful, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And please don't forget to put your thoughts in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Let's meet in the next video.